We're drinking tea.
Yeah, we're drinking tea while spilling the tea. Um, Positive energy
Yeah.
is important because um, when you hold
Yeah.
when you hold that positive energy and you walk everywhere with that positive energy and take it with you everywhere you go, nothing negative, nothing fearful can survive in that light. So by you holding that, you automatically touch everyone that you're around, and it shapes your life by you holding that frequency of
Yeah.
positivity, of love. Everything in your external also mirrors that. So you start to attract only positive things.
So what you feel inside is what you attract from the
Exactly.
outside.
The only reason we encounter bad things in our life is because they're reflecting what we feel about ourselves internally.
Right. And
Yeah.
how can we keep that up all the time? Like it's positive.
Well, it's not necessarily, you don't have to always keep it up all the time,
Because
of
like a
course.
roller coaster, right? You have your
Yeah.
like 1 minute you might be happy, next minute like
Um, I was literally I just finished reading the Power of Now,
Yeah.
and he was talking about how you it only becomes very your life situation only becomes painful. You only start to feel pain when you attach to the circumstances that are going on outside your life instead of just seeing them as an opportunity to learn. So when you encounter a negative situation,
Yeah.
a lot of the times people like they straight away they go into this kind of mentality of like, oh my god, why is this happening to me? And they fall into a victim kind of mentality instead of seeing it for as it is, just a reflection of what they were already experiencing within themselves. So when they realize that it's just an expression of what they were experiencing within themselves, they can see it as a lesson. Oh, okay, I see that as something. Okay, what can I learn from this? How can this bring me closer to love? How can this bring me closer to peace? And yeah, when you start seeing every circumstance in your life like that, then you don't have to attach to negativity because it's only just lessons.
You know what I like?
Yeah, what?
Your Instagram stories, how you just like you don't care, like you just like say it how it is.
Yeah, well, that took me a lot of time.
What makes you do that, and like how did you gain that confidence to just like say whatever you want?
Um,
This tea is hot as fuck.
yeah, it's
Fuck. But yeah.
yeah, so I still like struggle with anxiety sometimes, but I know that again, for me to attach to that anxiety is literally me attaching to what I just said, a negative situation. It's not the truth. The fear is not the truth.
Right.
So that's how I work through my anxiety, and when it comes to sharing what I believe, at the end of the day, I really believe it to be true. And I really believe it can help people. And I'm not doing anyone a service by shutting my mouth because I'm embarrassed of what people are going to think about me.
Do you? I see you get positive feedback as well. Do you get negatives as well, or what?
I haven't yet.
Yeah.
But my cousin literally replied to my story yesterday, and she was like, sometimes I have to be honest. Sometimes I think you're going like you've lost it. You're going crazy. And
Yeah.
but then I see like things like this, like the good things that I post on my story, and then she's like, oh, I know you're on the right path. So I mean, yeah, like people are kind of shocked, I guess, by how because it's just like a new thing that I've just
Yeah.
been voicing the way I actually think about things. So, but that's okay. Like, I don't know. I'm not attaching to it. I'm trying my best not to attach to positive or negative feedback.
So like, tell them a bit about like who you are and like your music stuff and
Okay.
what. How come you like? Because you were telling me before, like you're kind of like shifting away from your old music is not who you are anymore to like in
Yeah.
a whole new journey and that.
So basically I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I feel like, did I
I'm the
even say
I'm the
my
worst,
name?
man. This is the worst. Is like
Wait, I didn't even say my name. Hi, I'm Layla.
I'm the
Layla
worst at
L.
intro. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. You can anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm from Sydney. Obviously we're in Sydney. Okay, so I am an artist, a musician. I've been recording demos for about like the past 2.5 years and just finding out who I am as an artist. And I've got so many demos, but I haven't released any of my own songs yet. But recently I feel like I've really grown. I feel like I've gone through kind of like, I don't know, like a spiritual awakening. I don't like to say that, but that's what it feels like.
You're right.
And all of the demos that I previously had and created, I don't feel like I align with the lyrics anymore and what I talk about. So I feel like this year for me, I'm just, starting to express myself on social media platforms and actually show people who I am and what I believe in. And then I feel like that will reflect in the new music that I create, and hopefully I can release it soon.
What kind of stuff were you singing about beforehand?
Well, like like normal.
Find me in the club.
No, like kind of like relationships and things like that, which is still cool.
Cause you're like you got a melody. I don't know how to say it. Like you
Yeah.
got like a good singing voice and.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like yeah. So like what kind of stuff were you like rapping about or singing about?
I was rapping about. I was singing about. I was singing about just like relationships or like it's still fine. Like I still resonate with it, but I feel like the world's a bit more than that, than just like love, like relationship love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What about that song that you emailed last time? What was that? Like I tried to find it this morning so I can try to listen to it.
Oh, the one that first time we met.
Yeah.
That was called Right Back, and that was about a time when I was in my my first relationship, and I was kind of we had come to a place where it wasn't good anymore, and it was kind of like just reminiscing about how it was when we first kind of got together, and I was just saying like if we could just go back, bring it back to the rewind, then it'd all be okay. Yeah, that's what it was about.
How come you never released it?
Because I wanted to have a strategy for how I release songs. I didn't want to just release and have like no plan.
Right.
So I wanted to get like heaps of demos first, and then eventually go into a proper studio and record them, and get my content, record music videos, and then release them after I had already done all that.
Do you still go to Studio 301? When was the last time you've been there?
I went there in, I think it was November last year.
Yeah.
I only went there though to record a song that I featured on with the producer. His name is Attitune.
Attitune, yeah.
Yeah.
So like with the power of now, I flipped through a couple of pages,
You read a couple of pages?
Yeah.
Amazing.
And like, so the main topic of it is just about being here right now, right here, right? Mm-hmm. And I got a problem of thinking too much.
Yeah.
Like I overthink, not overthink, but like I want to make sure everything is smooth,
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves me anxious.
Yes.
And I'm always like worried about what's coming up, and like depending on the situation, you get me?
Mm-hmm.
How can I change that, or how can people change that?
By realizing it's actually counterproductive to where you want to be. By you always being in your head, you're unable to think clearly. When you come into the present moment, everything quiets, right? And only the things that you need to know literally just come into your mind like that. You're able to think clearly, and any action you want to take is from a place of clarity, not like all these other energies that don't even need to be there. They're all like fear. A lot of it's fear-based. All your anxiety is fear-based, right?
Right, because you're worrying about what could go wrong in the future, right?
And by saying, by thinking and putting your attention on what could go wrong, you actually create it.
So like you attract it.
You are
attract
creator.
it, like how you were saying before, like
how
are you feeling inside is where you attract.
Exactly.
So if I'm walking around like worried about what could go wrong, 1, 2, 3, then something might go wrong, right?
Yeah, like it probably will. The more you focus on what could go wrong, the more you're attracting it. It's not oh, this could maybe happen. Like the more you literally manifest things into your life without you even knowing it.
Yeah.
So you need to be conscious of how powerful your thinking mind is.
You know what I read somewhere?
Yeah.
It goes, a mind that's anxious about the future is a miserable one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And every time, like, let's say if I'm thinking about just bullshit, I find myself just like not in the right mood at all. And my day could get fucked up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so like manifestation, how does that work? I want to know about that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, let me just say one more thing. The future never comes.
The future's
always going to be in the future.
Right.
When is the point that you're going to say, oh, I can relax in the right now?
And there's no future as well, eh?
There's no future. There's only right now. There's only right now.
Yeah.
So, manifestation.
Let's say if I write a goal down, right?
Yeah.
This is what I'm learning myself.
Yes.
If I write a goal down, like, I try to figure out how the fuck am I going to get it done, right?
Yeah.
Like how I can align myself to it.
Yes.
Is that what it is or not?
Yeah.
Yeah?
you align yourself to it by being present, and then you receive the inspiration on what actions you need to take. But you can only receive that if you clear your mind and come and ground yourself in the present moment. You can't if you're thinking about all of, like, that's not going to align you to it. So get clear on your goal. Good, you have a goal, you wrote it down.
Yeah.
Figure out why you want to do it.
Yeah.
Because that will help you get clear on what the things you need to do to get there. So, like, can you give me an example of a goal?
Let's say this year, right? I wanted to like get a stable venue for my stuff that I do.
Perfect, yeah.
But as you know, what's going on around the world, that's not happening, you know what I mean?
Well, not if you think like that.
Everything is like this.
Not if you think like that.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's one of the goals that I put down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bit rocky at the moment, like I said, because of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And another thing that I wrote is also just be present, you know what I mean? How to not worry about what could go wrong. So let's say if I'm stressing out about, oh, fuck, they're bringing another lockdown or 1, 2, 3, they'll fry me up, right? Like they'll do my head in.
Yeah, that's really scary. And do you know why we could definitely attract something like this happening again? Is because a lot of us are fearing that. And that's because nothing, how do I explain this? Like nothing's actually
real.
Like,
how can you explain it for someone that's not in that level of thinking?
Well, okay. Everything we're seeing, the fact that we're seeing it is the fact that we're able to perceive it is the only reason it exists.
Right.
Does that make sense, or did I just
break it down a bit more?
Break it down. So, that's how powerful our mind is. We create everything within ourselves. And then it is reflected in our external reality.
By the outside world.
Yeah. So the only reason anything ever exists is because it has existed here first. And then now we can see it. That's what a manifestation is. Everything is manifested. Everything here, like everything right now that you can see is manifested. So we're unconsciously manifesting all the time. Once you get clear on how powerful, and once you understand how powerful you are literally creator. Like you are literally the universe inside a human form.
So how do you operate on your day to day? Do you just manifest stuff, or like how do you structure your day?
Well, obviously I still have some of those limiting beliefs that still like I still have to remind myself of this, of how powerful we are. Like individually, I still have to remind myself about that on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes things will be going wrong and then I'll have to like stop myself and say, hang on, you're literally attracting this. Like the other day I was in Bondi.
Let's hear it.
And I was late to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I had moved my car, and I shouldn't have done that because I had a parking spot, but it was too far and I didn't want to walk. So I moved my car, and that was a big mistake because there had never been so much traffic in Bondi. Like there was so many cars. And then I went into, I don't know if you know, there's a car parking spot right by a car park right by the beach in Bondi. Yeah. And there's like a roundabout that you go in to get into it.
Yeah, I know.
There was literally cars lined up on the roundabout, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so late. Like, and I started panicking. I was like, I'm never going to find a parking. And then I was like, and then because I had been listening to the audiobook of The Power of Now, I was like, hold on. Like, bitch, you're like literally attracting this right now. So I just stopped. I stopped in that moment. And I had reached the car park, the entrance of the car park, and we were stopped. The cars were stopped. And then I remembered listening to what Eckhart, the guy who wrote The Power of Now.
I reckon he should sponsor this podcast.
I know, right? Anyways, but he said, the way you connect to your true self, source, energy, which is what you are, is by listening to the silence that sound comes from. Because every sound that there is silence for that sound to exist. Does that make sense?
Silence? What do you mean by silence?
There is nothing before there is something. So even in space, the fact that we have space, which is nothing, space is nothing, is the only reason that we can have Earth. Because Earth couldn't exist if there was no space for it. There has to be space for Earth to manifest. So with that in mind, while I was in the car park,
Yeah.
looking for a motherfucking car spot, right? There were so many cars, like so many. There was like if I was in this physical world, and I said to I looked around and I looked at my circumstances, there would be no fucking way I'd find a car spot. So anyway, then I remembered who the fuck I was, and I remembered
Who was it?
I remembered that
Motherfucking Lailah.
Yeah, like, and who you are too. We are all each other. We are all the same. Anyway,
100%.
yeah. So I remembered this, and then I listened to I searched for the silence, and I listened to the sounds of everyone like talking around me. I opened my windows, and then I found the silence, and that's the place. That's called the quantum field. Another word for that is the quantum field. And that's where infinite realities exist, infinite possibilities. So anything can manifest from that place of nothingness.
What's the name of the place again?
The quantum field.
The quantum field. How do you access that?
But it's also in the now. It's also the present moment. So
Right.
It doesn't matter if you call it the quantum field, you call it the present, you call it, just the present, okay?
Yeah.
Because in the present moment, there is silence. There is that, okay? I feel like this is like jangling, but anyway.
No, that's cool. Yeah. What is that? A big crystals?
No, it's just plastic.
Did you bring any crystals today?
This has got crystals on it.
Yeah.
But let's go back to what I was saying before I lose my train of thought, because
Let's
then I'm
do it,
never
let's
going
do
back
it.
there. Hold
Let's
on. Okay, so in that moment, I connected to the silence, and then I visualized a car spot. I wanted to go to the reality where I found a car spot really quick, like right there. Like I just visualized it so clearly in my mind. And then I opened this is no joke. I literally opened my eyes and I looked up and someone was walking to his car right to my left. And then I opened my window and I was like, are you leaving? And he's like, yes. So I literally manifested a car spot like right there when it seemed impossible, just by realizing that it was actually I have that power. And you can do that with everything. Does that make sense?
So if I want to access $1 million right now, I can do it?
You can.
Teach me how to do it. I'll give you half if I get it.
A lot of the times, we don't actually want the thing that we're manifesting. We want the feeling that it brings us.
Right.
So you have to, that's why I said you have to get clear on why you want to manifest the things that you want to manifest. And then you can manifest. We don't care about money. Humans don't actually give a shit about money. They give a shit about what the things that we think that money can bring us. A lot of the things that you think money can bring you, you can experience that right fucking now. The security, the freedom, the happiness, the peace, you can experience that right now. And then as soon as you experience those feelings right now, you become a match to all that money that you want.
Why do you think we always chase like the glamour and the glitz of things?
Because well, that's the point. There would be no lessons to learn if we weren't able to get led astray. There'd be no point of us living, because there would be no lessons to learn.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's say like we're always trying to chase like the Lamborghini, the $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Why?
Yeah. Is it like a form of escapism? Is it?
Mm-hmm.
You think so?
Yeah, and also like you don't like. Do you want that?
No, sorry.
Okay. You don't want to be living in right now. You think that some unattainable thing in the future is going to make you feel better than you can feel right now in this moment. And that's why we chase things that look shiny.
Right.
Yeah.
But you reckon it depends on circumstances as well, right?
Okay, explain.
Like, let's say some kid in China somewhere in the bush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Africa or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Wants to leave that circumstances for a better life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you reckon that's like a positive escape as well? Or do you think that they can access like whatever they need where they at?
Yes. Well,
If you get what I mean.
when you're able to accept right now,
Yeah.
for what it is, that's when you're able to get into that more positive state. Of course, if our external reality is not ideal and we don't have food and we don't have shelter, of course we're living in a human body. We need to be sheltered. We need food. We need water. We need those things, right? But there is always a reason that we are put into the experiences that we are put into, and I believe we come to this earth choosing where we're going, what family we're going to be born into.
You
and
choose.
We choose.
You think so?
I believe this.
Tell me why.
We choose the lessons that we're here to learn, and when you look at it from that lens, whether it's true or not, when it's helped me by when I look at every circumstance that I'm living, I've actually chosen this because it's a lesson that I want to learn. I don't look at it from a place of this is like despair, like this is horrible. I look at it like, okay, I know I'm always going to be safe because no matter what happens to me, I'm always safe, because even when you die, you are safe. You just go back to what you were before you came here, which is pure consciousness.
Do you fear death?
I still have those fears, but less and less now, because I realize that this is temporary. We're all going to go back to what we came from.
I feel like it's around the corner at any moment, and the more like you get scared of it, like I guess the more you can manifest it.
Yeah, but what are you fearing?
Like, I don't know, just death in general. Like, let's say if I'm worried, oh fuck, like things could go wrong, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You carry yourself in a certain way where like it could actually happen.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
But do you think if I just like accept it, it's gonna happen? You don't know when it's gonna happen. Then that's like a more positive way of looking at it.
Yeah, and also, I think it's trying to teach you to let go of attachment to things, because if you were able to let go of attachment to things and attachment, you would automatically, because that's why we fear death, because our ego wants to keep us alive in this physical form, where there's all of these like cars, there's all of these like glitz and glamour, like you said, there's
glamour
all these things.
Glitz.
Yeah, there's all of these things to attach to.
Yeah.
And our ego does that to keep us here, to keep us, on earth, to keep us experiencing things in the physical form. But when you remember what you are, you're not your ego. You're not that. You are. Does that make sense? You are. If you want to call it your soul, you want to call it whatever. You are a soul having an experience in a physical body. You came here because you wanted to learn. You wanted to feel the feelings that you can feel only by living in a physical body. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you're here. You knew you were coming here temporarily for this physical form. There would be no point for you living forever, because you're literally infinite. Like, can you imagine what forever is?
I could try.
Yeah. So, wait, what was your point? Sorry. What was your question? Let me go back to it.
Just the fear of death, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But do you think, like, let's say, right, if you lose like someone close to you, right, that can trigger the feeling more, especially at like a random time as well, and you'd be like, oh fuck, is it gonna happen soon to me? Like, when is it, like,
when fear starts to exist is because you haven't accepted that moment for what it is. You haven't surrendered to what is.
Yeah.
And that's why it becomes so painful. Death isn't actually painful, and I know that might sound insensitive to say, but death is not painful. It's the most peaceful thing, because we go back to what we were, which is the place of no pain, no suffering. That's what happens when we die. We go back to that. So here, while we're still on earth, sometimes we're unable to accept it, because us accepting that, because we have so much attachment to things that are physical, it's hard for us to accept, and that's why it becomes painful. It's only painful because you're attaching to how you think it should be and how you think. Does that make sense?
Do you think the more you let go, the better?
The more you accept what is, the more you surrender to what is, yes, the better everything is.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you do that makes you happy, like on the day-to-day, or you're like, how do you set your things out?
I set little goals that I want to achieve for myself, and I know that the number one thing for me now is making sure that I'm always in a place of peace and a place of contentment. I always choose peace over everything,
right?
Because that's where happiness exists. That's the point. That's what we're all trying to get to, right? There would be no point to me trying to do all these goals and big things if I was going to be unhappy at the end of it.
Do you do whatever it takes to achieve that?
As long as I'm still
like
peaceful.
cut off people?
Oh yeah, but I don't cut them off in a bad way. It's just sometimes people are not. They serve, and you serve each other for a small moment in time, and then there is no more. you don't connect on the same way anymore.
Yeah, I feel like you just outgrow people,
Yeah,
you know?
and that's natural. Like death is natural. So is outgrowing people. That's a death in itself, a death of a connection.
What about people that take offense to it? Like, let's say if you're trying to better yourself,
Mm-hmm.
like they talk about, oh, you change or this and
Yeah.
that. How do you deal with that?
Well, it's not for you to deal with. It's theirs.
Right.
You don't have to take responsibility for that.
But it gets you a little bit, right?
Well,
like,
that's your responsibility.
Yeah.
Taking care of, why does it get you? What does it make you feel?
Like, let's say if you've known someone for however long, yeah?
Yeah.
Or not get to you, but like it pisses you off. Like, because you understand that you're trying to better yourself, but like it's just the way they talk about, oh, you change or you think you're better than us now. It's that because they don't understand that and you can't really make them understand
So
it.
why do you need to make them understand?
Not try. Oh, I don't know. You got me
You
there.
don't need to.
Yeah.
That's okay. Breathe and let it go. Accept it for what it is. Surrender. That's it.
Bring the sage. Nah, I'm joking.
Bring the sage. Yeah. I mean.
Not yet. Yeah. Well, like I guess we're humans and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you feel it a bit, like you've known someone, you got certain memories with them.
Yeah.
And just like the not separation, but just like the outgrowing each other. It gets a bit hectic,
I look at pain points in my life, at those triggers, because what you're feeling now, it's hard, but it's a trigger. It's a pain point. I look at pain points in my life as opportunities to learn. What is the reason that you are being shown this pain? The pain doesn't come up so you can try not to feel it. You need to feel that pain. You need to understand, why do I feel this anger when I can't get someone to understand me? Why do I feel that? Why does that affect me in this way?
Right.
Yeah.
So let's say, where do you think that stems from then? If you're trying to make them, because I've grown into like, I'm very blunt now, Like I say shit how it is. Like I don't give a fuck at all.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I'll try to make you understand, But then I'll find out like you can't really please no one,
No, you can't please everyone. No, you can't.
Now, literally, I'm just like one sentence. If I don't feel nothing is like going with how things should go, like I'm straight to the fucking point,
And how does that feel?
It feels all right, for my end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it leaves a certain tension, right? Because if they don't understand the vibe I'm coming with, like let's say I hit you up today, said, Lailah, what are you doing? Let's go hang out at the beach. You're like, nah, fuck you. I'm not feeling the best today, right? You know what I mean? I can't really take offense to that if I'm like, oh yeah, Lailah is feeling down and like she doesn't really want to hang out and shit like that, right?
Yes.
Get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I feel like it leaves me with a peace of mind, you know what I mean? Knowing that I'm expressing how I feel.
Yes.
You dig?
But then does it also you also feel something else as well?
I just
you feel guilt?
A little bit. Not a little bit, but like here and there I do.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
You reckon I shouldn't feel guilt?
No, you should. And if it leaves that air of tension, that is because you're inviting that air of tension by not knowing. You may not truly fully believe that what you're doing is the right thing. You may still feel subconsciously that you are doing the wrong thing by setting boundaries.
Right.
That's why you feel guilty.
Ah.
So if you come to that place within yourself where you understand, no, this is actually what I need to be doing, and I really fully, wholeheartedly believe that this is the right thing for both of us.
Yeah.
Then there is no guilt to be felt.
I find it more peaceful. Like, let's say if I'm around like this guy here and like some of my mates and that, we just have like having like a real conversation about just like real shit. Nothing about like, let's go to this club or nothing like that, But like just like deep like problems and how can we solve it.
Yeah.
You leave a bit lighter. Where in certain situations it's just about other things.
Yes.
Like, oh, girls, this, that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I find it more better now having like more conversations that
are constructive.
benefit us.
Yeah, exactly. That's so good.
You get me?
Yeah.
Do you find that around? Like, are you around that environment as well?
Sorry.
COVID. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. No, I just my throat's dry from talking.
Your tea.
Hold on.
No,
Give me
sorry.
tea.
This thing is cooled down now.
Mine hasn't. Anyway, hot tea. One sec. Okay, wait. What was the question? Remind me.
So basically, right?
Yeah.
If I'm around certain environments, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can either leave drained or excited.
Yeah.
Or relief.
Yeah.
Get what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And that is because, well, why is that? Because how do I explain that? I mean, yeah, because,
I guess it's like you guys are on the same page.
Yes.
You know?
And it's mutually, you're both feeding each other energy.
Yeah, like we're sharing value.
Sharing value.
That's
exactly.
what me and him were talking about the other day, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll tell you, hey, listen, bro, like, I need to pull you up about something. He pulls me up about whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's better like that, you know?
It is.
Than just like being around a bunch of yes men and just, you know?
Yeah, because it's not real. It's not real. Like, there's no value. There's no value. It drains your energy because there is nowhere to get the energy from. When you're having conversations like that, they're draining because they're not coming from a place of your pure energy. Does that make sense? Your pure energy. It's created. It's fake. It's not real, and that's why it drains you.
I hate being around fake shit.
Yeah, that's why the battery will not last for conversations like that but whereas when you have constructive conversations, truthful conversations, that comes from the place of infinite energy. There'll always be energy for that because it's the truth. Truth is infinite.
Right.
It's love. It's
and also, like, I'm a person that just, like, let's say I don't care what room we're in, who's there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I feel like I need to say something, it will get said, you know?
Yes.
And I feel like it takes certain, like, guts to do that, right?
It does.
Because people want to, like, kind of, like, just blend in and let shit slide, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get pointed as a bad guy, right? If you're, like, standing up to putting your foot down.
And then you feel fear.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, like, yeah, you develop fear here and there, like, oh, fuck. If I have to pull everyone up, they're gonna, you know?
They're gonna block you out of the group. Then you're not gonna belong anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Is that why? Is that what it feels like? That's why the fear's there?
Not belong. Like, I didn't give a fuck about belonging nowhere. So but just dealing with that, like, making sure everyone, like, understand, like, I guess is for me, right? It's like my moral compass, you know what I mean? Because I'm an honest guy and I expect honesty as well.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And the more honest I am upfront, the more better I feel. Because I feel like I haven't left anything that I should have said that's going to be in the back of my mind. Like, fuck, I wish I said this. I wish I said that. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yes.
So I think I'm doing it more for me, but just the consequences of it, right?
Yeah.
Like you going on social media, just talking about how you feel.
Yeah.
How can we solve this, you know? Like, at some stage, you would have been, like, thinking of, like,
I still do, yeah.
Right?
But yeah, what helps me is just knowing that it's okay to be misunderstood. Not everyone's going to understand you. And that's the point. That's your new lesson now. Yeah. That's your new lesson. That's your new pain point. You might have had different pains beforehand that you had to learn, and those lessons that you had to learn. But now you've learned those lessons, there's more. Now you get to speak your truth about all those lessons that you learned. You get to have those conversations, but there's going to be new things coming into your existence, new lessons to learn. You now have to learn how to deal with being misunderstood and know that it's okay.
How do you deal with being misunderstood?
I mean, nothing bad has come from it.
Yeah.
Like nothing bad has come from it yet. Knock on wood. I won't invite that. Nothing bad has come from it.
Yeah, I feel like people get used to it after a while. You know.
Yeah.
They get the message after a while. You know.
Well, maybe or maybe not. Some people never learn, but that's okay. That's not your thing. That's theirs, and that's their journey. That's their lessons. They can choose to learn them or not. That's not on you. And who are we to say that our lessons and our way of thinking is right? It's not right for everyone. That's why you can only learn for yourself, and then you can live and lead by example, not by talking. You can't preach and expect people to learn. You can preach, but you can share your knowledge, but you can't shove it down people's throat. People will learn best by watching you and by seeing, by even just being in the same energy, the same room with you. Like right now, I'm sharing my thing and you're sharing yours. I'm learning from you and you're learning from me because this is the way we're living. We're leading by example. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
How did you develop that confidence, I guess? I don't know if I'm repeating my questions.
No.
Yeah. Where did it start for you?
I had I came from me, I was a big people pleaser.
Were you?
Yeah, I would always, and I still have to check myself sometimes because I do things that are not really in my best interest.
Because you're a nice person, eh? Like, I can't, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're
Thanks.
pretty outgoing, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not... Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, like, yeah.
How did I get the confidence? By realizing this happened after I just started seeing, after my knowledge about what I think life is and what the universe is, after I understood more about that, everything else became like minuscule. Like all judgment, it's noise. I understand that it's noise. That's how I got the confidence, because I understand that I was doing it to myself. All the judgment that I was feeling, I was creating that in my own head. I was inviting it into my life. The moment I stopped judging myself is the moment that I stopped. And I'm still stopping. I stopped letting that judgmental energy into my field. It doesn't belong to me anymore. The moment I stop owning it inside my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's internal.
Internal. Everything is internal, right?
If you're feeling judged, you're judging yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
How can you how could you like you said before, you can't really shove it down people's throat, right? Because you don't want to be that preachy guy that just like is always like trying to put on his information on us, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you feel like? Do you have friends that you like kind of like sit down like, hey, listen, this is this and this and that, and how do they receive it?
Well, sometimes they're ready to, they want to. And then that's when I share things and I say, okay, well, this is how you can maybe go about this. Then again, I don't know what's best for them. They will only know that. But I can share what I think, from my perspective, what they can do. But yeah, sometimes that can be frustrating because you really want to hold on to certain connections. And you're like, can't you just see it the way I see it so we can grow together? But that doesn't always happen. And that's okay. That's again your lesson to learn with letting go of attachment to the way you thought things were going to be. And you have to accept that if you're trying to preach and shove your knowledge down people's throats, that means you're not coming from a place of peace. You're coming from a place of like ownership. Like you want to ego wants people to understand and see from your perspective. That's ego wants that. Your true self understands that this is the way it must be.
Tell me the difference between ego and confidence.
Okay. Confidence comes from a place of peace.
Yeah.
Confidence comes from a place of complete knowing and utter trust in yourself and the way things are.
What about sometimes when people mistake confidence for like arrogance?
Why does it matter? It doesn't matter if you're misunderstood. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
If you're misunderstood, that is not your thing to learn. Yeah. What your thing is to learn is why you care about being misunderstood.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like people, get that wrong. Like a confident guy.
They do, yeah.
They'll think, oh, this guy's up himself. Or he's a narcissistic. Is that how you say it?
Narcissist, yeah.
Tell me about narcissistics. What's your thoughts on them? It's like a common thing now. Like everyone just chucks it out there.
Okay. I feel like the whole world is kind of a bit narcissistic at the moment.
Everyone is, eh?
That's okay. That's just our lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Where, collectively, but you know what? Then we manifested things like coronavirus, right? This has smacked us on our ass. This is like literally it's kind of like the universe's way of telling us to sit the fuck down and remember the truth, which is we don't need to be chasing all of these external things. We need to come back to ourselves. And yeah, narcissism, I'm not a psychologist, but
Do you reckon you can be one with all this knowledge that you got?
If I wanted to be, I can do anything. So can you.
I can do anything.
That's right. But I don't really want to do that.
I'm the king of the world.
Yeah.
Have you seen that ad?
No.
It's like a little cat and it's just like, don't worry about it.
I don't watch
I'm the
TV
king
much.
of the world.
Oh, like.
But yeah, you can really do whatever you want, eh?
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So what do you got in your plate these days? You seeing someone? Like, what's going on with you? Are you in the market? Like,
no.
There's gonna be some guys watching this, like, trying to shoot their shot.
You know what? It's gonna take a lot. Take a lot. So I'm good on my own right now. Because I still have a lot of work to do internally. Yeah. Before I'm ready to share that with someone externally. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think makes the best relationship?
hold on. A
Take
the
notes.
more you,
Take notes.
yeah, a knowing of yourself.
Yeah.
That's an owning of your things, your issues. So you're not projecting that on your partner, because like your reality is a mirror of your internal reality. When you have a relationship, this is how I view relationships. When you have a relationship between two people,
Yeah.
that becomes like a very magnified mirror. You can all of a sudden see exactly the things that you need to work on, because you're faced with someone who's like gonna trigger the fuck out of you. That's why we have so many, that's why jealousy and things like that, insecurity, are big issues in relationships, because those insecurities and jealousy and things like that were already in your existence, and they were showing up, but they were showing up in little, as little nudges, and you didn't really notice them until they were magnified by the partner in front of you. They begin to trigger those insecurities. So what makes a good relationship is being aware and knowing that, okay, I don't know everything. I don't know everything about myself even.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to learn and be open and receptive to the lessons that this person is going to teach me. Don't go into a relationship thinking that they're going to be exactly what you want them to be. They're going to be what you need them to be.
Because everyone has their own journey, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
And I was talking to one of the boys the other day. It's like, I guess the more, let's say the more conversations I have with females,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You develop a certain respect for them after. It depends on the convo, you know what I mean? Some of them don't deserve the respect, right? But
Really?
some of them, right?
Okay.
Not don't deserve, but it's
Yeah.
just that.
Okay.
But some of them that you kind of get to know more, you understand why they're that.
Yes.
You get me?
Okay. Why they're what?
Why they're who they are.
Okay.
Right? Because you could see someone and be like, oh, this person carried themselves a certain way.
Yeah.
But you don't know their backstory, right?
Right.
And with our mentality, we're just like, oh, this person is that.
Yeah.
You get me?
Can you be more specific?
Let's say if you see an Instagram model, right?
Yes.
That's taking photos of her booty all day, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be like, this girl is an Insta thought.
Okay.
Right?
And?
We don't know what makes her that.
Yes.
You get me?
And also it's not.
If you get what I mean.
It's triggering something in you.
You reckon?
Yes, 100%. This is not different to what we were just talking about. How everything you were getting triggered by is your own thing. The reason why she is doing whatever she's doing, and the reason why people carry themselves is not your. The reason why people carry themselves the way they do is not your issue. Your issue is why are you getting triggered by it?
I guess not triggered, but just more of understanding. You know. You develop more understanding and you remove judgment. Yes. You get what I mean?
And why do you think you remove judgment?
I never really used to care, but it's just about respecting, understanding, oh, that's their story.
That's why.
Yeah. The more comments I have, the deeper it gets.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The more understanding you get and oh shit.
Do you want to?
Nah, fuck him, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and yeah, keep going, sorry.
Yeah. You see what I mean? I can just let's say back then, I would have to get back to this person. No, I don't give a fuck. It's this is in front of me, so it's you know.
Yes.
But yeah, I reckon it's been a good convo. What do you think from the first one that we've done?
It has been a lot better, I reckon.
Yeah. What can they know about you? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram. At Lailah LAILAH.EL. And maybe TikTok as well, but I'm not really as active on there. But yeah. But
yeah, it's been a mad convo.
It has been.
I appreciate you driving all the way back again, to do this again.
No worries.
I reckon we should do a part 2. What do you think?
I reckon we should. Yeah. Because I feel the more we do this, the more our energy just flows. You know, we can just talk without any.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, PC Podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was dope, bro. Straight up.
Yeah, it's good shit,
It's crazy. It's good.